All right. So, how to attract more miracles into our lives? So, we know that miracles are, let's say, what we consider to be not logical. It's something that doesn't make sense to the logical mind. We cannot plan for it. We cannot train ourselves for it. And so, when someone says, I experienced a miracle, often we almost consider that like delusional, right? And so many of us, I believe, we experience this reality of miracles. We had some level of miracles into our lives. And personally, I experienced, as I said, miraculous healing. Like healing some of my clients from certain things all of a sudden. I had actually a client that I had a talk with a few years ago, and after like 15 minutes talk, like she was in a wheelchair, and she was so convinced that she cannot walk anymore, that she cannot, use her feet in the same way. And after that talk, the next day she started to take action and get out of her wheelchair and start walking again. And she sent me a message crying and said, "Oh my God, I can't believe this is happening." So that's a miracle as well. However, sometimes what happens is that miracles are natural, they are normal, and it's based also on our belief system. Whatever we believe, we attract. So if we believe that reality is very logical, is very strict and rigid, then this is how our experience is, right? If we believe that we will attract things in miraculous ways in our lives, that we don't necessarily have to figure it out, then that is going to be the case as well. And so personally, I am a miracle baby, right? So I've been born in this world. My mother couldn't be pregnant. That's what the doctor told her. She had an operation. She had like a deep womb surgery, and the doctor said that I saved your life, but you cannot have babies anymore. And 6 months after, here I am. So, and I know so many people that experience similar stuff, or like have been born in miraculous ways, therefore proving that our reality is based on miracles. I mean, the fact that we exist in these human bodies, the fact that we are having eyes and sight, and we can feel and taste and see and have this intuition and have extrasensory perceptions, right? Like clairvoyance, clairsentience. Some people do very supernatural things, psychic things. These are proofs that the miracle consciousness already exists, is whether we want to attune to it or not. This is pretty much what my experience was with miracles, right? And when we let go of resistance, when we let go of control, then guess what happens? The Creator, which is infinite, which knows that there are infinite potentials, brings that reality into our lives, the reality we prayed for, or that really elevates our journey, that is for our highest good, but also the realities that are not necessarily for our highest good, that we need to experience in order to grow, to transform, to learn a lesson, and so on. So miracles are very much real, very much real. And the beauty is that when we are preparing for something, let's make it very practical. Let's say that you have a business, a mentoring business or a coaching business, and you do everything in your power to attract clients. You show up in the best way possible to attract clients in your business, to support them, to serve them, and to also obviously support your lifestyle. Well, most of the time from my own journey, when I took the action required, when I showed up in the best way I could, somehow a client found me in miraculous ways, not necessarily through the through the ways I predicted, through the plan that I created, to the structure that I made, but in miraculous ways, in ways that I could not imagine. That is a miracle as well. So there are big miracles in our lives that we can manifest, or very small miracles, like, just finding a ring. Let's say you are you're trying to find a ring for your wife, to ask her to marry you, and then you can actually you gave up on all the possibilities. You don't want to buy that because you didn't find what you wanted, and the universe works in such a way that it can actually make you find that ring on the floor somewhere. So that's how crazy it works. I have a friend of mine who was on the beach somewhere in Bali, and his ring, he wanted to I don't know exactly the story. I don't want to say something that is not fully true, but the point is that he was asking a question: should I marry the woman that I'm with? And then he was standing on the beach, on the shore, and the waves came, and it, like, he looks at his hand, who was in the sand, and there was a ring right next to his hand. So that's how miracles work. This can be a small thing, but it's huge in terms of how important that is for you, right? So miracles are simply a reality of the way God, the way the Creator wants to speak with us, to confirm that what we are, what is in our destiny, what is in our current destiny, is good for us, or is the experience we want. And so let's dive a little bit deeper and realize what, if miracles are real and they are an everyday reality, what stands against them? Why do we postpone them? Why not all people experience that? Why some people experience massive struggle and others experience this fascinating reality when miracles are all over them? Why? First thing that I want to share on this is that we are so trained, we are so much trained to have certainty by controlling reality, right? By having rigid structures, like society is a rigid structure. The way we created society, the way we created these systems that we are functioning in, the way we go to work, the way we operate in the world is so controlling, is so rigid, is so survival based, and it creates so much limitation to what can actually access us, because we think we have it figured out, and we like that sense of control to a degree, but at some point it's almost against our soul evolution. This is why 90% of people in the world, even though they have a job, their life is miserable, because they follow a step by step plan to action that gives them safety of, in a form of control, but there is nothing alive, there is nothing exciting happening there. It's just surviving. And so in order to attract miracles, in order to connect with this consciousness, we have to first let go of any rigid concept and belief. We have to let go of everything we think we know. This is when the Creator, God, the universe, higher wisdom, our soul, however you want to call it, has space to come to us, has space to reach us, because we have prepared our vessel in order to receive it. But when we have certain rigid systems and structures in our mind and beliefs about how reality should be, how we should make money, how we should find our partner, how we should this and that, then it doesn't land. That miracle consciousness doesn't land. It's not to say that what you focus on you won't attract. You would, but it's not as efficient. It is too much effort in the process, right? It's not to say that if you have a business, let's say, and you take action and you make ads online and you take all the action possible to reach your clients, doesn't mean you won't attract those clients, because you believe in it. So you take the action that you believe that works in order for you to attract the clients. You will attract them, but it's very predictable, right? And imagine that you can both take the action, do the right things, but let it completely go after that and allow the universe to fill in a reality that's even better for you. A client that you didn't expect, a situation that is so much more rewarding, an outcome that is so much more rewarding, because the universe knows exactly where you are and where your frequency is, and everything that it delivers from this place of surrender is in full alignment with what you need, with your evolution, with your growth, with your excitement. Now when you force it, you will attract back people, clients, for example, in this case, that are more resistant, that are a little bit harder to work with. I experienced something similar in the past. I had clients that I could not work with because I attracted them from a place of need and lack. Whereas when I am in full trust, when I take the action required and I'm in full trust, the clients that come into my experience, they are so aligned and in such resonance with me that the work I do with them doesn't even feel like work, it feels like excitement, right? And this applies in all areas of life. Same in relationships and so on. So one way we block it is by, having rigid structures, beliefs, systems and concepts around ourselves and about how reality is, instead of fully surrendering to receive the guidance, the higher guidance of the Creator, of the universe through us. And this is a big topic. This takes lifetimes for some people to rewire. For others, takes a few years. Some people can also awaken overnight to what is possible. However, because we have lived very conditioned lives, it is not that easy to rewire that. It takes time, usually. Another thing that we need to understand about miracles is that we have to understand that there are infinite possibilities in this creation, in this universe. And the creator of it all, who also is inside of us, can create any reality for us. We can draw from that realm of infinite possibilities any reality possible. Of course, in this human body, right? You cannot just become a dinosaur overnight. Let's not be delusional. Like, you can create anything possible within this human body, within this human limitation that we all are, temporary for, 100 years or so, right? And so we have to understand that that's really, is not just woo-woo, it's not just imagination. It's really possible, right? It's really possible to have the soulmate of your dreams, to have the job of your dreams, to live in the location of your dreams, in the house of your dreams, to do the work that you feel that inspires you the most and elevates you the most and gives you the most joy. Everything is possible, and I'm saying this not because I believe in it, it's because I experience it. I live in the best place I could imagine, even better than I could imagine, here in Costa Rica, where I based myself for the last 4 years. And I tried many other places on all continents. I attracted the relationships in my life, from both friendships to clients to romantic, the best relationships that really truly elevate me and support me and make me feel like it's part of my evolution, it's part of my mission, it's part of my growth. I eat the best food possible here, the best fruit. I love fruit. I love to eat like fruit mostly and raw food, because it's the most nourishing to me. And here I am living the best, eating the best food. I breathe the best air just by being here, because this is what I wanted for myself. And so all of these things are possible. And people say, well, it's not possible for all of us to be where you are, or to, I mean, it is possible if you want to, but some people are happy where they are, and that's okay. So the same reality doesn't mean that my reality serves exactly what your needs are. But what I'm saying is to tap deep into what is true for you, what is really exciting for you, and really in all areas of life, and really acknowledge that, and allow life, allow the creation to bring it to you. And watch miracles happen. Watch how opportunities come, how people out of the blue, out of nowhere, come into your journey to create that experience for you. How things are shaping, how you're bending reality based on your belief system, based on what you feel is real, based on what you feel exciting, that is exciting for you. And yeah, another thing that I want to speak about is that miracles are actually the true reality before we made them to be woo-woo, before we made them to be this thing that is almost outside of ourselves. It is not true. Miracles are part of our day-to-day reality if we allow ourselves to experience that. And that doesn't make us be vulnerable necessarily, because some people say, well, I cannot just live my life doing nothing and waiting for miracles. This is not what I'm saying. I'm not doing nothing. I'm doing a lot, actually. But everything I'm doing is exciting. Everything I'm doing nourishes me from the inside out. Everything I'm doing elevates me and supports me and serves me and the people I'm serving. And because of that, I want to do more of it, So because of that, I also realized that we can actually, what we can do when it comes to attracting more miracles is to really be clear inside of ourselves of what we want from life, what we want to experience, and why. If we have those two together, the what and the why, then the how and the when is going to appear. That is the universe's job to bring into our reality. So let's give an example. The what, right? So what do I love to do the most? I give myself as an example in this case. I love to empower people. I love to support people to tune into their own leadership, into their own self-mastery, into their own creative power, and to believe in themselves, to know that they are powerful, masterful creators, that they are made by this force that created stars and planets and galaxies. The same energy is inside of us, right? And once I felt that, once I knew that, I felt it in my body when I had my awakening experience, I could not pretend that I'm less. I could not play small anymore. I had to live my life based on that knowing. And so my what is to help people realize that within themselves as well, to help them feel that empowerment inside of themselves and live the destiny that they came here to live. So that is my what. Why? Simply because it brings me joy. It brings me joy, that's it. It makes me feel the most fulfilled I ever feel. No matter what I'm doing, when I can support someone on their journey is the most rewarding feeling I could ever experience in my life. When we have impact in someone else's life, I believe this is actually why we are here for, is to share one another, to share our gifts with each other, to share what is important and true for us. And that's also where our greatest fear is. The fear of being visible, the fear of being judged, being ridiculized, being considered crazy, being put into a box. And the funny thing is that whether you share yourself, whether you are here to express or not, you're still going to be judged. No matter what we do, whether it's good or bad, we're still going to be judged, right? And if we do not do it, well, my friends, that is what we call depression. Depression is not the absence of happiness or joy or excitement. Depression is simply when we do not express. The cure for depression is expression, is to share ourselves on the most fundamental level, authentically, is to share how we are, how we feel, what matters to us, is to share our creations, the things that we believe that are going to make the world a better place, our community, our family. When we do not do that, we are basically telling God or the Creator or the universe that I do not want to utilize my power. I came here to play small. I came here to pretend. I came here to perform. I came here to be in survival mode. And that's not true. We are not that. We have never been let's say broken, if you think about it. We always are whole. In the moments when we are healing, even then we are whole from the inside out. We are still powered by that beautiful energy that powers everything in creation. At all times we are whole and complete. It's just our perspective and perception that changes. And the same thing, if we look at miracles from a place of, oh, these things are not existing, these things are very delusional and stuff like that, then you won't experience those. But if you open yourself for the magic that this creation is, then you will experience that, and your life is going to be shocked in a good way, with magical experiences, with beautiful experiences, with things that are unexpected and exciting, and also things that are not so exciting, because you always need to grow and transform, and that is part of the journey. So how can we create more miracles in our lives? What can we do today to create more miracles in our life? The thing that works for me the most, especially in the last year or two, is prayer. Like, I'm praying with the Creator. I'm praying with the creation. And I'm not praying from from a place of begging, from a place of need. I'm praying from a place of wholeness. I know who I am. I know what I am. I know how I am made by that power and force which we call the Creator. And I have therefore a responsibility. And so what I pray for is strength, courage, guidance, support. I don't pray like most people say, God, can you bring me more money? I'm not praying for that. I'm praying for the right vessel to be able to hold that reality, to be able to feel wealthy, so that I can attract that, so that the miracle of money in whatever form and shape comes into my life. And the same goes for love, the same goes for everything. If you want to attract a relationship that is healthy and conscious and supports you and elevates you and uplifts you on your mission, you don't ask for love. You ask for the strength in your body and all the things that you need in order to transform yourself to be able to hold that reality. And then watch the Creator, God, bring into your reality all the things that will help you experience that relationship. And those things can be also difficult. Those things can be painful stuff from the past, can be, reviewing of some wounds that you thought you healed, in order to see where you are with your journey. It's going to test you. Reality is going to test you as well, to see how committed you are, right? So miracles can also be those things that are challenging. It's not just flower power, it's not just fairies and unicorns. Miracles can also be things that all of the sudden happen in order to liberate you, in order to address something deeper, in order to illuminate your darkness. And it can feel like pain, it can feel like sadness, grief, frustration, but they are actually accelerating your journey. And if you take the opportunity to feel it, to experience, to not run away from it, then you elevate to a new consciousness. And so prayer is one of the things that I'm doing for the last 2 years, because I did all the things before that. I planned, I structured, I did all the things in order to control and bring the outcome that I wanted. I did all of that, and guess what? Almost no results. When I started to pray, when I started to surrender and let go fully, and then utilize my structure, utilize my wisdom, utilize the things that I learned from life, then my reality kicked in ways that I could never imagine, in miraculous ways and empowering ways. And so, yes, prayer is super important. And then another thing that is as important is inspired action. Because if you stand on a couch and ask for your soulmate, and ask for your client, and ask for a better job or whatever, nothing is going to happen. So you need to take inspired action, right? Inspired action is different than controlled and forced action. Why? Because inspired action comes from a place of alignment, from a place of being connected, of feeling whole. When you are praying, you are aligning on an energetic level, on a soul level. You are aligning the reality you want for yourself, and then you take action from that. That is inspired action. You will feel it. You will know exactly what is next to do, and you have to take the action towards it. Now, forced action or controlled action comes from a place of fear or lack, right? When you see that something misses in your life and you're afraid and you don't know what to do, and you take action from that place where you're not fully connected with your soul and with the Creator, then no matter how much action you take in that direction, not much is going to happen. You cannot move the needle, or you move it very little and you cannot hold it, because you are acting from fear. You are acting from anxiety. So this is why it's important in the beginning to pray, to align. And whether you use prayer instead of prayer, whether you use meditation, whatever you can to elevate your mood and to make you trust life. Because so many of us do not trust life. That is the truth. We think that somehow life is against us. We think that somehow the Creator is against us. It tests us, it challenges us. How long am I going to suffer? because of this. How long? Well, the moment you accept it, you have the opportunity to alchemize. Everything that is given to us is given for us to accelerate, to grow, to evolve, to experience the reality that we want. Even the things that feel uncomfortable. And those are miracles as well. Because some people are so numbed, so disconnected, that they don't experience anything anymore. They just almost like the energetic field is zero. It has no power, and therefore they don't communicate. They don't have any antenna to receive guidance, to receive transformation, to receive things that are for their journey. So, yeah, take time to connect. Close your eyes and ask yourself, what is beyond my thoughts? What is more important than what I know? How can I feel more connected beyond attachments, beyond clinging to people, to my job, to my safety? Right? Like, how can I feel this connection with the Creator and allow space to be filled with answers, with guidance, with feelings, like somatic feelings in your body? And you will experience it. And from there, take the action. And then that creates a chain reaction of miracles. When I take action from that place, it's incredible what I experience in my life. When I take it from control and fear, either nothing happens or I feel frustrated because I try to force things. And I don't want to force things. I'm tired of forcing things. And we all tried that reality. It didn't work too much. If you have something that you're good at, if you have something that you're excited about, if you have something that is adding to the higher good of all, you can make a living out of that. Not just make a living, not just to survive, but to thrive as well. And this is the reason why I also created a community that I call the Masterful Creator Tribe. So in this community, we are supporting people and empowering and keeping them accountable when it comes to their creations, to their gifts, to embodying that creator energy inside of themselves and operating in the world, in their reality, from a place of alignment, from a place of knowing their power and being confident about it. So if this is something that feels resonant to you, this is the first condition to join this community, is that it has to feel like resonance. It has to feel like alignment, like something that you truly want, something that you resonate with for yourself. And in this community, we are both teachers and students at the same time, and we are learning from each other. We are giving each other reflections, inspiring, sharing your creations. You're gonna share what is that you are feeling excited to do this week, to create this week, and keeping this momentum going. And for those who want to dive deep and do deep work and really connect with your greatest destiny, to your mission, and also express your mission into the world, I'm also doing deep work around that, and ancestral healing and connecting and correcting the loops and the patterns that keep you playing small. There is so much that I can support you with, and I'm excited. If you feel the resonance, just reach out and see. I guess that's it for today. Much love. Have a beautiful rest of the week and weekend, and I will see you soon. Ciao for now.